Hello and welcome to Quassi's Bell Tower with your host, Quassi. And today we are going to make skulls. And we're going to make several different size skulls. But this is going to be a little bit different. This craft is more for decoration and maybe some prop use in your game, depending on what you want to do. When I do this, we'll see what happens and see if I can use it for anything else. But definitely for decoration pieces that this is being made for. So first of all, I have 3 different skulls. I've got this skull here with this little jaw, which we'll be taking that off, but I got this one at Target. I think it was like $5-6 bucks for one of these. And then we have a glow-in-the-dark skull. This was from Family Dollar. No, this was like the Dollar Tree, I think is where I got this one from. And then we've got these multiple skulls in a bag. They're all the same size. They also come with these tiny ones. I got these ones at Walmart. I think they had them at one of the dollar stores too. But these little tiny skulls we won't be using because I've already cut one open and there's not enough detail in it for us to use. These ones have some detail. I'm just wondering how they're gonna come out, honestly. And these ones should work just fine. Now these I've already split open, and I split all these already off screen. And you're gonna have to use a very strong X-Acto knife or some kind of sharp blade to cut these. I would definitely be very careful with cutting them because, you know, razor blades and stuff like that, cutting through hard stuff, you know, you're gonna end up cutting yourself probably. I'm so glad I didn't cut myself. And when I did this one, I actually had to have him put a kind of a small hole in his skull and then take a jigsaw and put it in the hole and then cut it out that way. And I actually had to use a vise to hold this in place. That, or if you can, you know, get somebody to hold it for you while you cut it out. But that's what I did. I used a vise for it. So I won't be showing you how to cut them out because it's kind of boring, I guess. And it was kind of a pain in the butt to do, honestly. Except for the smaller ones, they were a little bit easier. But we are going to now go to the table and get started. So for me to start this project, what I needed was some Plaster of Paris. And they want you to mix 2 parts of the plaster with 1 part water. I might need some more likely I will for the big skull, but we'll start off. We'll do the small skull, then we'll do the medium one, and we'll move up and see how many we get done. So what I've basically been told to do is basically pour a cup of water into your container or whatever you want to put it in, and then slowly start adding your plaster to it, just a little at a time, and just kind of let it dissolve. So this is going to be a bit of a long process, but I'll show you guys what it'll look like when it's all done. On to cup 2, and so far I haven't had to worry about it getting too powdery or mixed in there yet where I have to start worrying about it. So it's doing good like this. So I'll be back in a sec and show you the rest. So now that I got all my plaster in there, guys, it's a little, still needs to be, you know, I'm gonna have to mix it, but it kind of got a little chunky in there. So now I'm just gonna have to stir it up, and they say to use a wooden paint stick. I got a plastic one here, so we'll use this, and we'll just stir it until they say the chunkiness of it is gone and it's kind of thickened up. So hopefully this works out the way I want it to. It says the consistency of this should be like pancake syrup, or pancake mix, I mean, guys. So now I'm going to take my small skull here and I'm going to assemble it back together. And what I'm going to do to hold this together is I'm going to put some hot glue around it. I don't think this is really going to be strong enough to hold it together, but, which I'm already having problems because I can't keep it together, guys. But this will keep it nice and sealed, and then I will put some rubber bands around it, but I want to get it so the plaster doesn't leak out, and I want to be able to reuse these skulls over and over again. to make more of them if I feel like it. So I'm gonna let that sit just like that and let that dry. So then I'm just gonna take a rubber band from my rubber band collection and just use this rubber band to hold this skull, if possible, into place. So it will stay. And of course this rubber band is too big for this tiny little skull. So this is not probably gonna work the way I want it to. But let's see, maybe I can make it a little bit tighter. Yeah, there we go, just like that. Now I got my hole there, and when I set the skull down, I'm gonna have to set it just down and have the hole popped up. I'm going to use a funnel here. Hopefully this will work. The funnel's a little bit bigger than the hole, but I think this will work. And this looks like pancake mix now, guys. And I did do one thing, and that's basically I kind of went like this to help get rid of any air bubbles that might be in it. So I'm just gonna pray this works, guys. Okay, line it up the best I can, guys. And starting to pour. Yeah, I can see I'm gonna make a mess of this already. It says there's only like a 20-minute set time. 20-30 minute. Ooh, look at that, guys. Almost dropped it already. Set time on this, so it's already starting to set on me already. It seemed like almost just like water before. And I have a feeling I'm going to have to push this through on this tiny little funnel. And then I will just have to add some more until I get it to where I want. Come on, pancake mix, let's do this. And this is why I'm doing this out in the garage, because if I did this in the house, the wife would kill me. Yeah, that's... I don't know, guys, how this is going to work out. Got it over here making air bubble noises on me. I don't even know if that's all the way to the bottom or not. Can't really tell. No, that's not even close. Definitely going to be a process. I probably should be wearing gloves, but that's the one thing I forgot that I probably need. But I did put down paper towels. Looks like it's getting there, guys. Actually, I'll tell you one thing. This plaster's only been sitting maybe 5 minutes tops. Because, you know, I had to make sure I had this and this and this. Because I'm never prepared when I'm working on something. I always forget something. Or I forget what I had to get. Now this is a first time experience for me on this, so this is going to be a fun mess, I see. Let's see. Well, that looks pretty good, guys. I know you can't really tell probably, but there's the plaster, so I'm gonna let that sit. Okay, I had to stop last night's recording because the plaster I was using, I had enough to do this one, and I started to do the second one, but the plaster started to harden up. It says 20-30 minute dry time kind of thing for it. I don't really think it was, but it does matter. It does make a difference depending on the humidity. It really wasn't that bad last night, but who knows. So I got my two skulls here ready for the pour. I got all my plaster. That's like, what did I say, 2-3 bags, I think that is, of plaster right there, of 1 pound bags. So I think that's like 3 pounds of plaster. I don't know if I'm gonna need it all or not. If I end up wasting a lot of it, I wasted it. The plaster was not that expensive. I just want to make sure I got enough to fill this big boy in, and I don't know if 2 bags would do it, so I just went with the rest of them with all 3 of them, what I had left. And I got these guys all set up, and I got those done. And like I said, you need 2 parts plaster to 1 part water. So I've got all that plaster, so I'm gonna have to do half of that to be water. I'm gonna try mixing it again. I had to clean out my bucket because that stuff hardened up. That's about as good as I got, and that was good enough for now. But I'm gonna go ahead and mix this all up and then start pouring it in, and then we'll see what it looks like when I come back. So here is my plaster. It's still a little liquefied. It hasn't really gotten to that pancake batter, but I don't want it to get there to the point where I can't even pour it in this funnel. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a try, and hopefully this works out. This is the first time I've actually worked with this stuff, so I'm not sure what I'm dealing with. I'm just gonna try to get some bubbles out real quick. Give this another stir real quick. Getting plaster all over my shirt, all over me. Yeah, like I said, wife's gonna love doing laundry. But I'm gonna go ahead and pour this in, guys, real quick, and then I'm gonna put these molds away, and we'll see what they look like tomorrow. Good thing about this one being kind of transparent is I'll be able to see if it's full or not, I hope. Oh yeah, I can definitely tell. Bring that in the corner. Angel's job. This is going to be the tricky part, guys. I'll do this over it so it spills, which of course it did. Okay, this is something I definitely don't see me doing very often. I thought I'd give it a try and see how it came out. So I'm just going to set this bad boy down, get the wires out of the way. Let's see if I can't set him like that. There we go. And now we'll go and do the big one before the should put a bigger hole in this one before this stuff all starts to harden up on me. You can see it's already starting to get that thickness to it. I need another hand. I need another hand. I wish I had another hand, but I don't. I don't think I had enough plaster. I think it would probably take 3 pounds just to do this one skull. Okay, so this is one big fail. Okay, it has now been 45 hours, or 48, sorry, since I put the plaster in this one. And it's been 24 hours for this one and the one that we didn't get filled all the way. So now we're gonna find out how they came out. So first of all, we're gonna pop open this little guy and see how this came out. See how well this mold and everything else is going to hold on. See if we can get this glue off it. Fun part of taking it apart now. And then see how well the plastic. The camera just died on me while I was in the middle of unraveling this. I got all the super glue or the hot glue off it, and this bad boy doesn't want to pry open, and I really don't think it's going to. I think I should have probably coated the inside with some kind of lubricant or something so this would pop off, or at least make it easier to pop off. So I'm gonna have to do something I didn't want to do, And I'm just gonna take a screwdriver to this and see if I can't loosen it up a bit without damaging too much of the plaster itself. That didn't seem to do a thing, but I did get the top to open up a bit. Okay, the side is going a bit. Let's see if I get this side. The only thing is I have a feeling is I'm going to end up damaging this plaster. And I totally did not even get it where I wanted it. That's just probably going to destroy the mold. Ah, there we go. And I just split it. So, we got an epic fail. So I'm sure the other two are going to be epic fails too. I didn't really want to like cut this away and have to peel everything away from it. Son of a gun. I wonder how I should have done this. Like I said, I probably should have. Yeah, it's just destroying the plaster in there. So we know that this is definitely a fail video. Yeah, it ain't going to come out. All I'm doing is destroying the plaster, which is still not 100% dry, because I can feel the moisture in that. I can still actually kind of mold it. So that one was definitely a fail. I'd love to find a way to take this out. Maybe if I get a pair of pliers, I can pull it out that way. So now we're going to try this out since my other battery is dead. I guess they did not charge properly. Yeah, it looks like I might have to cut that out, guys. Not what I really want it to do. Can't get the mold to pop out or release this at all. And I don't really think it's going to. I'm probably gonna have to cut it out. So now I need something to cut it with, which all I have is this X-Acto knife on me right now, which is quite dull. Just cut some of it off, peel it back. I might be able to get it out without hopefully cutting my finger or myself off. Okay, I've got some there. I didn't want to destroy this mold or this plastic at all, so I thought I could reuse it. I guess that's just not gonna happen. And I should have thought of that because of all the edges and curves and everything else in it, that it would do that. Okay guys, so this was definitely one big epic fail. I didn't think much of the Plaster of Paris when I got it. Didn't think about it gripping onto the molds. You know, I was just trying to push a video out. It looked like it'd be pretty easy to do. And I guess if it's a low, small piece, you know, it would have came out fine. But since these were kind of, had a lot of detail and a lot of grooves to them and a lot of curvage, it was gonna bold it or hold on to it. So the medium one that I did, which was a family tree one, it was like a glow-in-the-dark skull. That one come out pretty good. That one I was actually able to get out without that much damage. So I might paint that one up and do something with it, even though I don't really like this design, just because, like I said before, it's really like cartoonish in a way. And then we had the small one, and that one, of course, didn't come out at all that well. It's all damaged. I didn't expect to get much out of it anyways, but then we have the big one, and I knew the teeth weren't going to come out, which me pulling this out, I destroyed that pretty much. But that's that. I mean, skull part, you know, the eyes and everything else, that's pretty good. The nose is still there. It looks a little beat up. I'm sure if I let this dry and then try to paint it and give it a look of like it's been beat up or destroyed, you know, kicked around, damaged, I could probably pull that off, even though it wouldn't really work that much because skulls are hollow, you know, with this being chipped like that, that's possible, I guess. But, you know, you'd be able to see through all that and everything else. But anyways, here is the mold that it was in. And as you can see, I basically tore half the jaw out, the top part, and had to do a lot of cutting and everything else. So I'm kind of upset because there's $5 in the crapper, but, you know, there's nothing I can do about that. Lesson learned. And I was thinking I should have probably put some kind of lubricant in it, you know, some kind of spray or something so it would pop out easier. And of course I didn't do that. And I was thinking, how would that work with the plaster? Would the plaster mix in with that and it wouldn't work? I don't know. Would it damage it? Would it ruin it? I don't know. I guess I should have done some more research and looked into it more before we did this. So there you guys go. That is Quassi's first epic craft fail. Until next time, guys, and remember to ring that like button like a hunchback. Till next time, guys. Now I gotta clean this freaking mess up. Freaking plaster everywhere. Oh, it's gonna take me forever to clean this.